Now we are on to life event number 2. The Peace family goes on an annual ski trip with their best friends and neighbors, Katie and Chris Schroeder, who are excellent skiers, by the way. And everyone was having a great time. The adults were out skiing, a couple of people were hanging out in the lodge, then we have the kids are in the snowboarding school, and everything was great. Everyone was having a great time, but a fog quickly descends on the mountain. And Polly and Patrick are winding down. They collide into one another, and it's a yard sale. So let's say that ski patrol comes over, puts them on the sleds, down the mountain, into the ambulance, to the hospital. Katie and Chris go and they grab the kids out of the snowboarding school, and they say, kids, your parents have been in a terrible accident. We have to leave right now to go to the hospital. At that moment, a police officer walks over and says, are these the children that their parents were just taken away in the ambulance? Katie and Chris say, yes, we're on our way there right now. Let's say for a moment that Polly and Patrick do not have an estate plan. It is possible that these Schroeders are not going to be deemed legal guardians that are permissible for the Peace family. Even though they've known these kids their entire life, they're kind of like a pseudo aunt and uncle for them. This police officer may say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to allow you to take those children. You don't have any relationship to them. Who knows what's going to happen? I can't say 100% that this police officer would do that, but they could. When there's a news story and parents have been injured or taken to jail or whatever, who are the kids usually with? They're usually with their grandmother or an aunt and uncle or a cousin or something like that. It's generally a blood relative. So this police officer might say, no, I'm going to have to take the kids with me into my police car and we can go to the hospital and see their parents, but they're going to be under my custody. That could be a very frightening thing for a child to have to go through. And we don't really want to leave this up to chance. Who knows what that police officer or first responder is going to do. So how can we fix that? We can use a short-term guardianship document that makes it very clear who you as a parent authorize to stay with or pick up your children in the event of an emergency. So this is kind of our emergency plan. Now, let's say that Polly and Patrick did have this short-term guardianship document in place. Now, when the police officer says, are these the kids that their parents were taken away? Katie and Chris Schroeder say, yes, we are legal short-term guardians. We're going to take them with us to the hospital. So it's your way as a parent to outline who has that legal authority to stay with your children. So the second lesson here is that guardianship is also about who cares for your children in an emergency. When you say the word guardianship, what pops into most people's minds is the long-term guardianship. That's who would step in and raise minor children if parents weren't able to. But we do have that interim kind of emergency piece that we need to be thinking about and taking care of, and we can do that through the short-term guardianship document.